All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Passionately Speaking. This is the call where we talk about public speaking and how we can, of course, become better at it. We're going to probably be a little light today because we did just take a holiday for Memorial Day. So, hello, Luana. So, every time we do take a little holiday, a lot of times people forget the next time to come in. But we're going to do our call anyway. It'll be recorded and it'll be up on our site, and it'll be there forever for anybody who wants to look at it later. So today's a very special day. We are going to talk about the digital stage and how to command the camera like a live room. In this Zoom world for quite some time now. I personally started in like 2015 and 16. Zoom first came out. It started actually being used in more of the technical field for corporations and companies. And that's how I got wind of it is because, my past life was in computer information systems. And of course, I have some colleagues and friends. And so that's kind of where it picked up. I don't know exactly when. It could have been 2012. I don't know. But I do know that I got wind of it around 2015 and 16. And I used to use it for coaching, and I did the webinar version because were used to webinars. They weren't used to Zooms where we all showed our faces and came about. So I used it for quite a while, of course, on regular webinars as opposed to GoToWebinar and some of the other systems that seemed a bit more technical to me. And then there was all kinds of different other, corporate ones. But Zoom really zoomed ahead when COVID happened. And then everybody embraced Zoom because of the ease of use and the user interface. But it has changed now that we're out of COVID and that we're going live and that we're both doing both. We're speaking live now, but we also are speaking and will continue to speak on Zoom probably until the world ends or some other kind of rendition that might be better because of many, many reasons. Not only its convenience and technology, but it works. So it is here to stay. It's not going to go away because COVID when stopped. It is going to be here for good. So we've got to continuously embrace it and use it and get better at it and learn more about it. Not so much the technical end, but the speaking end because it has changed. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Some differences, some changes, some new things on the horizon, and how we can constantly speak in it and command our audience. But before we do that, Renee has done a 1 minute recently, and now was that 1 minute that you did live, or was that
No, this was live. This was here in Chattanooga. Hmm.
okay? So she's going to share that with us tonight before we get started. So go ahead, Renee.
Okay, so thank you
Sure.
so much, Arvee. Real quickly to give the ladies a background is our babysitter, because we travel around a lot. She takes care of our four puppies. She's 78, very active, very, very active. She does 5 to 8 miles a day walking and tons of vitamins, mostly vegetarian, but she eats fish and chicken. And just very, very healthy and moving very quickly. She was getting her mail one day, and she has a job, part-time job. She was married over 55 years, and she decided to divorce her husband because they get along well, but she didn't want to take care of him. She did nothing to take care of, but she didn't want to have to deal with somebody. She wanted a life of freedom. So everything is good. Nothing is dysfunctional. Loving family. So she's getting her mail, and she's reading it, and all of a sudden down the hill, a car is spinning out of control and hits her, flies her up in the air, 50 feet in the air, and she lands. She's 30 days in the hospital. She does pass. I'm trying to do a soundbite, RV, and she does pass. So just recently, on Saturday, there was about 127 people were there, and I was asked by the family, because I RSVP'd, saying the sympathy card because I had butterflies on it, and she loved butterflies. That was her favorite thing. So I was doing it in honor of her. And they said, Doreen has spoken so highly of you because whenever she babysits, you always have a lot of food in the refrigerator with her name on everything, because everything is all very, vegetables, steamed asparagus, broccoli, things that keep her. She likes that. She has to usually go out to eat. So here we go. I'm standing up in the front of the stage. I'm the fourth speaker. The other three people were her family, her children, and her husband. So here we go. Imagine for a moment that heaven has become just a little more glamorous. I'm Dr. Renee Gordon Connolly, and I'm a friend of Doreen, and she's our babysitter that we love and adore, and we cherish our friendship. Imagine a beautiful woman walking through the pearly gates with her hair perfectly coiffed, styled, her makeup on, flawlessly applied, her elegant strut, always a smile on her face that can light up a room. That's how I imagine Doreen arriving into heaven. When Jim and I think of our lovely Doreen, one word immediately comes to mind, and that's the word elegant. Not just beautiful, but on the outside as well as on the inside. Undoubtedly the most glamorous woman here in Chattanooga. Well, she's always impeccably dressed, polished, nails done. Doreen was beautiful inside as well. As our friend and our trusted pet sitter, she lovingly cared for our 4 little Maltese dogs. Anyone who knew Doreen, how much she adored animals, especially dogs, she had a gentle heart and a nurturing spirit, and a special way of making both people and animals feel so cared for. Over the years, we shared so many conversations. We heard countless stories about her beloved children, whom she loved beyond measure. We also heard so many stories about her husband, Stuart, and even though they had already separated as husband and wife, we were always impressed by the deep love, friendship, and respect that they shared. They saw each other every other day just to go out to dinner. That's all, just because of just being friends. Their relationship was genuine and lasting, a friendship based on history, caring for one another, that sparks volumes for the way they are together. We enjoyed hearing Doreen's stories about working at P.F. Chang's with the other people she met along the way, the adventures, and her husband, Stuart, who experienced throughout the years of business life that they had. She had a gift for storytelling, and every conversation seemed to have you smiling. So one of the things Doreen loved the most were her butterflies. How fitting a butterfly begins in a life in one form, then transforms into something even more beautiful. Today, I cannot help but think of how Doreen is, and how loving and thankful we are, how much she loved the animals and so many lives that she touched. Though our hearts are heavy, we find a lot of comfort in knowing that our love never truly leaves us. The memories, laughter, friendship, and the beauty that Doreen shared will always be remembered for all of those who knew her. Doreen, thank you for your friendship, your kindness, your stories that leave us just bewildered. Your love for animals, the grace with which you live your life. Until we meet again, may you rest peacefully in the loving arms of God, with butterflies dancing all around you, and heaven is a brighter place with your presence. God bless you, Doreen.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, just a couple questions because
Yes.
of your beginning story. So she left her husband because she didn't want to take care of her husband?
No, and he's very fit also. He walks about
Oh,
5 to 8 miles also, but she just didn't want to like care for him, wash clothes and cook and this and that. She just wanted to be independent, very independent. And she is you can't tell her what to do. She's stubborn, very a real spark fire. What's it called? Spitfire. Great personality. She walks into P.F. Chang's. She was the hostess, and she lights up the room. It's just as who she is with a smile. But they didn't even argue. She was just tired of living with a husband, and she's 79. She
tired
says,
of being a wife.
tired of being a wife. Yeah, she wanted to be his friend, and she didn't want to sleep with him anymore. There's nothing wrong with sleeping with him. Everything was great, but she just wanted to live apart, not date other guys. It wasn't about that. She just wanted to be independent and not
So
have to
she
take care of him.
got independent And she moved out, and then
Yep.
she went and got mail at her new place and got
Yep.
hit by a car and died.
Yeah, pretty much that. She was on her own for about 5 years. She was on her own for
Oh,
5 years. Yeah,
oh,
it
okay.
didn't recently happen.
Oh, okay.
They broke up, like divorced, literally 6 years ago, something like that. But they were very
Oh,
close. They saw each other like every other day. He takes her out to dinner with their daughters, who are grown women over 30 years old. And it's like a little family thing on the weekends. But they just lived separate lives. They just didn't sleep together, and they visited, and they got along well. Everything they got along very well. And so that's what they decided to do. So he was still in love with her, and she just decided, no, I want to be on my own. I don't want to have to answer to anybody. And the first thing I said is, are you dating somebody? She said, absolutely not. She said, it isn't about dating. I just want to be on my own. That's all.
okay.
And
Well,
she
good
said, I'm
for her.
I'm 79 years. I'm going to be 79. How many years left do I have? Probably about 10 or 15. I just want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. So she didn't want to be a wife anymore to him.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I
there's nothing wrong with that at all.
no, of course
No,
not.
no, because you look at your life, and some people live because of abuse, or they leave because of they're just unhappy. But she wasn't unhappy; she just didn't want to be with him.
Just
So
wanted to be on her own.
yeah, because she
I
knows
would
what I
think
she knows what I
that,
did for a living, and she said, no, no, I'm really good. I'm so happy. I'm happy on my own. So
well, good for her.
yes. So
Okay.
thank you so much for that opportunity, Arvie. I appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing it. That was
Yeah, I
beautiful.
had I had
Beautifully done.
17 compliments. 17.
Beautiful, beautifully
Yeah.
done.
Thank
And
you.
we never know when we might be called on to do some sort of eulogy or to speak at someone that we love's celebration of life. So it is a speech. It counts as a speech. And of course, we make it all about them when we do that. I know the hardest speech I ever gave was the 10 minutes I had at my own husband's um, funeral, and that was pretty rough. I think Dr. Love,
I
you
was
said you
there.
filmed it.
I
You
filmed
filmed it.
it.
You were
Yep.
there and you filmed it.
Yep.
I've never got the film from you. I don't.
Oh,
I want the film
oh,
from you.
you do or you don't?
I'll just hang on to it. I'm not
Okay.
ready for it
Before I
now.
forget, Arby, since we're talking about Michael, do you mind giving me the date around what year again? Would you mind?
A year of what?
The year that he passed away, and the date, so I can look on my photos, please. On
Well,
my
he
video.
passed on October 18th, 2021, but the celebration of life and his funeral was on November 23rd, 2021.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you. I will look in my files because my photos are kind of getting full. So since I'm doing that, I would love to do that to some.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that was
Great, thank
beautiful.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks for sharing. And any of you, if you have any little speeches like that you want to share, please, this is the place to do it. We all support you, encourage you, love on you, and want to hear it. So this is a great, safe audience. But before we go to our main topic, I want to say hello to Claudine. Hello. Good to see you. Where are you driving to, girl? Where are you going?
Home. I'm going home.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
And
I was at the hospital visiting someone that was sick. So
oh, okay.
I'm on my way home now. But I'll be home in about 10 minutes so I
Good.
could listen.
Good to see you. I thought I was gonna have to give you a call and say, "Where have you been, girl? Where have you been?"
Well, a couple of weeks I was sick,
Oh,
and then I must have got it mixed up because you took off the month of April, right?
yes. April, I was in Philippines.
Oh, how did that go?
Oh, good. Everything went good. All
Oh,
good.
great.
Safe.
I'm
Got
glad.
there and back. I'm I'm a little burned out on that far of travel because the jet
Right.
lag was so scary
Hmm.
this time. I'm just gonna stick around for a little while. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick around. Yeah, not
Yeah,
go too
sometimes
far.
it takes a while to get that bounce back, you know.
Yeah, it took a while. Yeah, it took a
Yeah.
longer time than the time before.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's because we got a year or two older.
oh, is that it?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay. Well, Jackie's traveling
It's good
now.
to be back. It's good to be back.
Yeah. Jackie's traveling. She turned her husband travel a lot to Europe and everything. Forgot where she's
Oh,
at now, but she's on one of her Viking boat cruises, and she'll be back in
oh,
a
very
couple
nice.
weeks. Yeah, yeah. Her and her husband travel a lot. And that's
That's
as it
great.
should be, right? As it should be. Okay, so we're going to go to our main event. We have plenty of time to do that. So we're talking today about the digital stage and how to command the camera like it is a live room. And already spoke about how things have changed in the Zoom world. So first of all, before I launch in and start teaching, I want to hear from you. You already heard from me what my opinion of Zoom is and how it's going to be here and how we've grown with it. But I want to hear not only your opinion, but what do you see the future in Zoom, or what have you learned? What is the best lesson that you've learned about speaking in Zoom? So, Dr. Renee, we'll go to you. Any one of those kind of topics.
Okay. Um, can you hear me now, Arvee?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, what I've learned about Zoom is that it's much easier to do presentations to a group of people and still get paid for it. What I've learned, and
Okay.
I'm very fortunate to be able to do that.
Okay.
So
Beautiful.
I love that. I do Zooms every day, probably about 8 to 11 Zooms a day. I do a lot of networking on Zooms. You don't have to find parking. You meet people from around the world or around the country or Canada or Mexico or literally around the world. And you don't have to find parking. And even in Chattanooga here, I have a chapter that I run called DTP, which is Divorce Transition Professionals, and it's for divorce professionals, and I help people transition out of divorce to move forward in their life, get closer to God, love themselves, and find somebody else. That's pretty much it. So it's notary, insurance, financial planners, but even that we meet on Zoom, and it's for half an hour once a week. So people love it, and we're not that far away. It's not This place is not that big, but they can go on with another appointment
Got it.
instead of having to look for parking. So it is much more convenient. And if you know how to work it and leverage that type of technology, I like this better, Zoom better than Team or other apps. Okay, thank you. I'm complete. Thanks, Arvee.
Great. All right. And how about you, Ramona? You're
Me?
muted.
So yeah, I liked all that what she had to say about it. I personally like going to Zoom because you're right. You don't have to drive someplace. There's just a lot of conveniences that, and I think since we're all so used to it, that it's not quite as well. The point is that you can use both the in-person stuff and Zoom, and it both works for me. I like it both.
All right.
And by the way,
Okay. And
I'm actually on my way to an appointment, so I'm going to have to leave, and I'll have to listen to your recording, which that's another thing I love, that Zoom can be recorded. That's a huge help.
okay. Okay. And another thing is you could go on Zoom when you're driving. Not
Yes.
very many people could do that. I wouldn't recommend speaking when you're driving, but you can always listen in. So that's a
Yeah.
plus.
It's a big help.
Yeah. All right, Dr. Lumana.
Well, like you, I discovered Zoom back in 2015 before anybody knew what Zoom
Good.
was. And I, what I like about it, well, number one, it makes me look a whole lot better.
Ah,
None of the others do. But the real thing is, I have met and become friends with people I would have never met because I'm not getting on a plane or a cruise ship. And I can sit here and tell you I have friends in Canada, the UK, Australia, the Philippines. I would have never met those people, but now I know them. And I like to believe that it brings all of us a little closer together. that we get an opportunity to know and understand and accept one another better because we get to sit and listen to one another, not what some government or a dictator is telling us that we should believe or whatnot. And I like the fact that we can record and we can take that recording and use it as a television show or a podcast. And we do it all in one setting. And you can have whatever background you want or any you could there's so much you can do with Zoom that I just love about it. And I'm sticking with Zoom.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Great. And I love that you know, like you said, the background, you can get a sneak peek into people, you can promote your book, you know, show people, you know, your book and stuff, or if you were at a networking event, you know, yeah, you could put it in your hand or carry it around, but it's a little more pretentious than if you just had it displayed behind you in a Zoom, you know. And I've seen people that have had several books that are displayed, and my books are displayed, but it's subtle. It's more subtle. So there's so many advantages. Is my door open? Oh, I guess my door isn't. Ah, I didn't know my door was open. Anyway, so very good. Thank you. All right, Claudine, what are some things that you like about the Zoom?
I like the fact that I can be home and comfortable. Yeah, as long as my top is nice. You know, I could get
Exactly.
away. Yes. And I like the fact that I don't have to stand up before an audience, you know, because that just takes a lot out of you. You know, a lot
A
of
lot of
focus,
energy.
a lot of,
Absolutely.
yeah. And I just, and I like the fact that I don't have to leave home.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, there's all those are great advantages. Now there are a few disadvantages, but I'm just going to talk about speaking in general, not like the networking and all this, because again, coaching is perfect for, I think, and a lot of networking, a lot of other things. But when you speak, do you hear my bird now, Sunny? He's singing. Anyway, um, there's some disadvantages over speaking that we want to talk about and take advantage of them and kind of destroy them because we want, I'm sorry, he's like distracting me because it's song I taught him. Because if we just use Zoom and just speak on Zoom without really trying to get better and master it, it's going to get dull. It's going to be flat eventually. And I feel like that's where it's at in some ways with some people and some speakers because they're doing the same thing they've done during COVID. Now, during COVID, think about it. When we were speaking on the digital stage, because it was new, we said, oh, and I did too. I was a proponent of this. It's like, okay, now we can use PowerPoint and it's okay, right? And now we can use this and we can use that and all this stuff and all these, backgrounds and all this toys and all this games. And that was fine in the beginning because that's where we were at. But now we've evolved. And now, guess what? It depends on us. We can no longer use gimmicks. We can no longer use fancy backgrounds. We can no longer use fancy PowerPoints and be effective. Got it? When I say effective, I mean keep the audience's attention to where we change their lives and then they buy from us. That whenever I say effective, that's what I'm talking about. Changing their lives and them changing yours by letting you change their lives. That's a lot harder now. So some things that are different for us to command the stage. He's been quiet all day and now he chooses to sing up a storm. He's so pretty. Okay, so now we've got we've got to get better at our stage. So we're going to talk about a couple of things. One, we're going to talk about the room setting. The room setting. Now, I'm not talking about background. I did years ago, we talked about background when we did COVID. Now I'm talking about room setting. So before you speak, you need to set the rules of the room, the perception. Okay? So no one does this. We just go, we get introduced to blah, 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 and then we go. Now we can set the room expectation, or at least ask the owner of the room to set the room expectations. In other words, if you want audience participation, if you want people to mute and unmute and that kind of thing, you've got to set the room. The other thing you want to set the room is personality. Now, we can look at Dr. Love and we know exactly what her personality is. Loving, friendly, it fits what she is selling. All right? Not all of us can do that. Mine may be a little bit, but I've got trophies, but those trophies are for other things. They're not fitness trophies, mind you. They are speaking trophies, Women's Day trophies, kindness trophies, but they're trophies, right? That's how I exemplify myself. A lot of people, they'll have their books, which I think is awesome when they have like 5 or 6, rows of books. So think about your personality. What are you showing? And I'm not talking about just putting up a screen with your logo. That's not your personality. Nowadays, we've got to show personality. So I encourage you, if you're doing a lot of Zoom, create like Dr. Love did, your personality behind you. And I don't know how you do those probably aren't live flowers, right? Because it's the same every single week. What
No,
is,
what I do, I'm changing them around. I
are they
change them
live?
around. Are they what? Yeah, they're live.
Okay. So
Yeah.
live,
Yeah,
but
I have a lot.
on Zoom, you could probably do the same thing with, they make some really good fake ones nowadays. But just remember, think up to yourself, what is my personality that I want to project? The personality I want to project is that you're all winners, right? You're all winners. We got trophies, we got books, we got, you're winners. We get director's chair. That's all been very thought out. And then things like dream and believe, right? That's the persona that I want to create. That I'm not that I'm just such a big winner, but I create winners. So think about what it is that you want to personify in your meeting, especially when you're speaking. Okay. If you're just visiting, who cares, right? I mean, I would say you should care because it's always a persona, but mainly we're talking about speaking. So think about that. Think about, your setting. What is it that you want to do? What kind of expectations do you want to put out there? And just remember, every Zoom room behaves how the leader or the speaker defines it. So if you're leading a class, if you're leading a meeting, then everybody in it will act how you define it when you come to that meeting and you tell them what's going to be going on, right? And when you're speaking for that 30 minutes, guess what? It's your meeting. You're the leader. Okay? Now, we want to make sure that we call the room a room now. We don't want to call it a meeting, don't want to say Zoom meeting anymore, and you don't want to call it a webinar or anything like this. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the webinar. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Don't ever refer to it anymore as a meeting or a webinar. It's a room. We're in a room. This beautiful room together. Right? We're not on the screen. We're in a room together. Okay? A room together. Doesn't that have a nicer feel? It's not as flat, right? It's not as flat. So we want to be in the room. All right. Now, again, this is going to be a constant battle, but we have to set the video expectations when you speak. A lot of times I go into a room, I speak, there's, over 25 people there, and half of them have their camera off. Now, you can't make them turn their camera on. Sorry. I wish we could, but you can encourage them, right? I have some great information I'm going to share tonight that I want to make sure that I can see your expression when I deliver it. I want to see your pretty faces. I want to see your reactions. I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you washed your hair or didn't. I don't care what you're wearing. It's a come as you are to this room. But I do want to see your reactions when I share some of my most valuable secrets and interesting ideas on public speaking. So please, if you will, turn on your video, right? So I can see it. I mean, whatever you need to do, you're not telling them, but you're trying to give them something in exchange, right? I want to see your face, right? Because guess what? They can see your face. They can see everybody's face. They can see your PowerPoint if you're using one. They can see your, props if you're using it. But we want to see them. So encourage them. And again, if it's, I mean, I hate bribing them, but if bribing works for your particular audience, where you say everyone that turns on their camera will get a free public speaking report at the end of this meeting, then do so. As long as it sounds genuine and loving, people will tend to do it. They just need permission to turn on their camera. And Ramona, why is your phone off? Why is your camera off? I think she's gone, actually. Okay. So it's always going to be a challenge, but you've got to start it. Don't start your speaking, your speech and let everybody be dark. I mean, don't even allow it. Remember, you are the leader for that 30 minutes or that 15 minutes. You are the leader and you're in charge and you're in control. And maybe they turn them off for the president of the networking meeting, but doesn't mean it has to be off for you. So take charge and ask. You might not get everybody, but you might get a few more. And the more, and people follow everybody. Here's a funny thing that happened this morning, which blew me away. And I thought, of course, and it's that crowd mentality. And it just takes one to follow. So here I am it's a Christian business partner meeting, and I'm ambassador. So I'm in charge of taking pictures and videos. So we start our worship song. Now, there's only 10 of us there, but we start the worship song. The guys next to me starts the worship, stands up and starts playing guitar, right? We're singing How Great Is Our God. And so as soon as he starts playing, I get up to go around this other girl next to me to get further away so I could take video. Well, the minute I got up, she got up, right? She's like, so I was like, yeah. So I started going, I just waited for the video because I didn't want her to feel silly because she was a guest. And so and then around the table, everybody stood up and sang. We never do that. We always sit down and sing.
Mm.
So it's that power, that crowd mentality. Well, guess what? They'll do it here. All you need is that one other person to flip on their camera or to do something, and the rest of them will do it. It's amazing.
Hmm.
So do that. Don't give up. Don't give up on that.
Okay.
Okay. And you want to frame your talk. Frame your talk by saying things like, this is an interactive class. I'm not just going to be a talking head. This is interactive. So keep your you could say keep your microphone on, or just be ready to turn your microphone on because I could call on you in any minute. Or because it's interactive, I'm going to say, hey, how cool is that? Say that's cool or something. But frame it ahead of time, because you'll go there and you'll start saying, hey, this is cool, and nobody's going to answer, nobody's going to respond. Nowadays, with Zoom speaking, now we always did this with live speaking. We always need to have interaction with our audience, and it seems easier, right? Because we're there. Turn to the person next to you, give them a high five. Well, guess what? We can't do that anymore, but you sure can use your voice. So instead of saying turn to the person, give them a high five, you can just say, when I say, How cool is that? Say that's cool, right? And just tell them, give them instructions, encourage that in a Zoom meeting during your Zoom speech. Got it?
Got it.
Hey. And then, like, when I say got it, you say got it, I say good. Got it?
Got it.
Good. All
Good.
right. So just set that up and teach them what you want them to do. All right. So now, also, before you start, part of the setup that you can do is tell them, you know what, this isn't a presentation. This isn't a presentation. This is a shared room where we're going to share ideas. And I'm going to be bouncing ideas off of you. I'm going to be asking you to participate, that kind of thing. So you just get them involved. Now, we do it automatically here because this is how I've been running this meeting. But so you all know that it's interactive. Y'all keep your microphones live. But not if I go into another meeting, they don't know. They don't know me. They don't know how I teach or train or speak. And they don't know how you do it either. So we need to let them know. And even if you spoke once or twice, maybe there's new people and you need to share it again. Okay. All right. That's all number one. Setting it all up, right? That's number one. Number two is controlling the focus. Now, this is a challenge because in a Zoom meeting, excuse me, in a Zoom room, in a speaking room using Zoom, you have to change the focus every 3 to 7 seconds. Now, in a live room, you've got to do that about 5 minutes, right? 3 to 5 minutes. In a Zoom room is 3 to 5 seconds. Now, what do I mean by changing the focus? Who could tell me what I mean? Before I tell you, who could tell me, give me some ideas when I say every 5 minutes in a 3 to 5 minutes in live speech or 3 to 5 seconds or 7 in a Zoom. What am I talking about when I say you have to do something, change the focus? Give me some ideas.
So would you say, RV, something about, when you're in person on a stage, you know how you move towards, you're in the middle, you move towards the right of the stage, make a statement, then move to the left to make another statement to make an impact on what you were saying. Maybe a hand gesture. And then maybe on Zoom saying, hey, who here agrees with what I just said? Press a 1 in the chat room or a 2, whatever the thing is. And so I've seen people do that. Or raise or give me some hearts and let me know that you love what I just said. The hearts on the things that float. And so I've heard people do that. So
Right.
I see
Those
the
are all
hearts. Like, tell me if you
great
love that or do you like that? Okay, that's pretty much it. The person
Those are
starting to
all
scream.
great ideas. I'll separate them in a second when I hear more people. But yeah, go to your reactions right now. Where's my, is it? Ugh. It's not reactions. Where is my reactions? Where's my reaction? Oh, there we go. Okay. And just do some reactions just to play, right? Right? Just for fun. Be ready for that. Okay. Let's go to Dr. Luana. Some ideas on changing the focus.
I think also your voice inflection helps change the focus. Sometimes I hear people and they are pretty much even tone, but if you're changing, like sometimes I might say something that kind of funny or ridiculous about myself just to wake people up. Uh, that and gestures, of course, you want to add some, you don't want to get crazy. Like we used to call people who got crazy with their hands, Cal Worthington. I don't know if you remember him or not,
Oh,
but
yeah.
his hands were always going all over the place, you know.
And his dog Spot.
Right.
It might be a lion or a tiger or something.
Mhm. But you want to have some gestures, and that the gesture should go with whatever your talk is. It's not just throwing it out there just to have some movement.
Right.
Off the top of my head, that's all I can think of right now.
Those are beautiful and right on. Right on. Okay, we'll talk more about those. Claudine, do you have some ideas to change the focus?
Um, Maybe say, how are we doing out there?
Okay.
Um,
Ask a
um,
question.
mm-hmm. Or moving right along.
Mhm.
Um, Maybe giving a smile. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All those are good. And
Mm-hmm.
and you'll want to use a combo. And again, every 3 to 5 seconds. So,
Right.
but voice is so important, Dr. Luana. I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people they try different things, but they don't change their tone. They're not excited. They don't go down. They go, that kind of thing. You have to
Right.
the tonality, you have to change your rhythm sometimes. You have to stop, pause, because that's real powerful. That gets people's attention, right? All those are important. What all the things that Dr. Love said, asking questions, all of that, you need to bring it. You need to bring it, right? You don't want to
Okay.
just talk monotone. Talking in the chat works if it's a large audience. If it's small, like these meetings, just keep it live. Just to everybody hold up a finger, everybody hold one or two, or everybody, something like that, or screen at one or two. Again, we're trying to get audience participation is number one to change the focus,
Okay.
right? Just get them to do something that'll change the focus or change the state, right? I don't know if you can hear him. He's singing. He's singing. Um, like Tony Robbins says, change the state. You could get him to stand up even. You could have him stand up in Zoom if you want, you know. Um, just be ready for, whatever, practice it. Make sure you know what you're asking them. But anything to change the state. We do that live, but the key here is the message I want to give forth to you is that we have to do it more often in this environment. We have to do it more often. Otherwise, we're just a talking head, especially the participation. That's why if you look at the early videos that I've done with this class, I mean, I'm right on point. PowerPoint, let's talk, blah, 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 blah. And then as we all grew together in this platform, it got more interactive until now, all of you are teaching half the class, right? And that's what you need to do, even in a speech that's only 15 minutes.
Mm.
Get an hour, but 15 minutes, we have to do that. So that is number two. Let me get you number three here. Let me look at my notes. Okay, so all right. Okay, so number three. Uh okay, so the number three is all about presence, and it's about your presence, right? How are you showing up? Right? How are you showing up? So just think about this principle. Your presence is louder than your words. Your
Wow.
presence speaks louder than your words, right? Good
Wow.
or bad, right? Good or bad, right? What is it saying? Now, it matters if you're in the camera. We talked a lot about being in the center of the camera, but it's okay if sometimes you're going to be over to the side, right? It's what is the presence that you're trying to create with your clothes, with your background. If you're speaking, I wouldn't use the phone, right? Because the phone makes you smaller instead of bigger and wider. All right. Not because it's bad. It's okay to come in. But if you're ever speaking, go borrow a computer if you don't have one, or if your computer's in the shop, don't think you could use your phone. Okay. Because you want a bigger presence. You want big, you want loud, you want to turn up your microphone, you want to, all of those things. Make sure that if your camera is good, all of those things that we've talked about in the past. But here, we talked about in the past, we talked about it for communication, purely communicating. Now we're talking about being present and being bolder. And again, you could stand up if you have a stand-up desk. That will give you a higher energy, but you have to learn how to have that high kind of energy like I have right now, sitting down. You need to be like coming through the screen at times, not to strangle somebody, but come through the screen so they feel like you're sitting right next to them. You're talking directly to them. And of course, we know about looking into the camera and all that. But it's your essence, your presence, the way you deliver your speech that has to be so big and so loud, and not just loud in words, but loud. You'd have to speak loud. If you have to wear loud clothes as long as they don't upstage you. Whatever you have to do to feel big, like you're living life in color, you're living life big, that kind of thing. You want to come to these calls big. Now, my trainer, a while back, we did a TV kind of thing. There was about 7 of us girls selected, and we had some TV people come and they filmed us, and it was going to be for a reality show. And that was actually about a year ago. Nothing ever happened. We're like, oh, bummer, nothing's happened. Well, the group, somebody else picked it up and they're looking at it. The other group, they wanted kind of a reality show where we're like mad at each other and we're like arguing. And that's just not our gym. We all love each other and support each other and all of that. Well, this other group is called TLC, and they want a more of the stories on the each individual people. Well, they selected 5 out of the 7. They selected, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5. Well, I'm one of the ones that they selected. And my trainer came to me, my coach, and she said, Arvee, she goes, here's who's selected. And they're all people with big personalities. And of course, they're all younger than me. But she came to me and she said, you have to even be bigger than you are, right? In order for us to get the film, get it made, we all have to be bigger than we naturally are. That means it takes an effort, not a fake effort. We've all got it in us. We've all got it in us, right? But sometimes we let shyness or humbleness or whatever it is get in the way. No more when you speak on Zoom. You got to be bold. You got to be big. You got to bring the big personality. You got to wear your big girl panties, all of it, and be bigger than you even think you could ever be. That's how you get through to the other side. That's how you get people to buy from you when you're in Zoom. Got it? Got it.
Got it.
Good.
I was on, if I may, I
Yes.
was on a Zoom call last week, and there was a gentleman. He was really good. He knew his stuff,
Okay.
some kind of coach, and um, he knows all of his stuff. But if you ask a question, basically about, he wanted engagement. Anyone have a question, and he'll answer it, but he'll just yeah, and no excitement, no oomph, no nothing. So that doesn't turn you on. Turn a
Right.
person on. It's not going to encourage me to buy your product,
Correct.
because you're not into me. I'm speaking to you, trying to find out some of what you're talking about, what selling or whatever, but yet you're just saying it like, you know, it's okay if these people buy, if it's okay if I don't get, so it was just like a turn off. So by you saying that, it kind of took me back to that gentleman.
Got it.
There was nothing excitable about him. I do understand that some people are quiet and laid back, but he needs to do better. I mean,
Yeah,
he's not the king where he has arrived, where he could just sit back, you know? I mean, this is for your audience. This is not for you.
right. Agreed. And I'm glad you brought that up, Claudine, because even in your Q&A, if people do ask for it, if you do have a Q&A, you need to be just as excited
Right,
as when you're sharing your speech. Uh,
right,
and when it comes to your product and services, whatever you're selling or sharing,
right.
you've got to be so excited that you would buy it yourself if you could, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because that's what's going to get people to buy it. Now, maybe on stage we can use words, imagine, and this and that and that. But in here, we've got to just be so overly excited about our product that we can't wait to share it and we can't wait to work with you. I mean, I know this will help you. I'm so excited about that kind of thing. And it is a challenge for a lot of people, especially when they
Yeah.
come, and what happens, they're all excited in their speech, and then it comes to the close, and all of a sudden, the energy.
Right. The downer.
So just be aware of that and don't let it drop. Be excited about your own product. You're so excited to
Right.
share it. So excited that you'd buy it yourself if you could.
I love that. Or you just
Into
said,
the end, right? Into the end of the speech.
yeah.
Yeah.
RV, I was on a 3-day recently, a coaching thing for 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And she was excited, but not overly. She's from Canada, soft spoken, but she did her very best. I thought she did a good job, but she used the word awesome and amazing, like every other word. I said, are you kidding me? I said, with all the words, and she's intelligent. She wasn't a stupid. With all the words in the world, that it was so overused. It's like, it was just, it just diminished. And so it's so done. And just like that word, you said the word webinar, no one uses that. Everyone uses the word room. Come to my room. And it's such much more elegant word, isn't it, than the word webinar? Okay, thank you.
Yes, it is. Yes, things have changed. And yes, that's awesome and amazing. But yeah, the overuse of any word, can, just be tiring to people. And that's all they hear after a while. And guess what? They don't hear you selling. They don't hear your excitement about the product and service. They don't hear the description. They don't hear how it can help them. All they hear is that word that you keep saying over and over again. Yeah. So that's a good, it's a good reminder for all of us. Just
Yeah.
like filler words get tired,
Yeah. It's yes.
So
And the
do
word and
words.
and you taught us that years ago, the filler words. Well, the awesome and amazing is a filler word that it's a very poor word. And it just looks like they're limited on their education.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's our lesson for today. Again, we're in Zoom. We all love Zoom. Let's make the most out of Zoom and come into the room and speak our best and get through that camera and include our audience now more than we ever have before. Okay. More, put it in the chat. Like I said, unless you got an audience of 50 to 100 people, we can talk to them now. Okay. We can talk to them and not have them. Oh, and I love those shoes and use other things. All
Nice.
right. Okay. Are there any
Okay.
questions before we end our call today?
No, I'm good, Arvee. Thank you for letting me
Yeah.
share a little bit in the beginning. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yes, that
Okay.
was
You're
very
welcome.
good. You did a very
And
good job on
Yeah.
that.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Lawana. I am so thankful. Thank you for your
yeah.
kind words. Thank you.
Yeah. Beautiful. And again, all of you can come and share your speeches. Just let me know what you want to do. Okay.
Okay, I can't wait till next week. Yay.
Next week. Yay. I'll see you next week.
Bye
Bye.
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 Bye bye.